Hello everyone, welcome back. In this episode here, this is a chart episode. So some of the things I've noticed, and I'm going to go ahead and share. Maybe this opens up some, basically shed some light on um, the way Mt. Gox price action differs from the other indices. So first thing, I'm going to pull back here. This is a 15-minute on Mt. Gox. So, excuse me. So, 15 minutes on Mt. Gox, right here. And if you look at it, you can see that the movements, the candlesticks, they look more like a band. And for me, this is like a trader's dream. Someone who trades on, who really knows how to trade on, the over the exchanges. Okay, looking at charts and everything, chart analysis. It sounds kind of lame and somewhat nerdy, but if there's some Bitcoin nerds out there, computer nerds, they'll like this. So Mt. Gox works for me. I can understand and read the chart and price action. That's another reason why I trade at Mt. Gox. Like I said, I don't care about the money because I'm long Bitcoins. I'm only trading here because of it's easy for me to trade on. The price range and the price action is fantastic for someone like me. And the other thing is, if you look at the spreads, there's a big spread in here sometimes. Sometimes $10 difference on the limits. And if you've seen my previous episodes, you know that market orders drives the price. So that's why you see these nice. I really like the bands on this, how it works out like that, because I can put a line here and know that it's gonna break. That's breaking out of this trend. Same thing here. I can put a line here, and then I would know that's breaking into a down. And so if you look at this, this is a perfect. This is a trader's dream right here. Now let me compare it to Bitstamp. Now this is also a 15-minute chart, but the moves here are a little bit more. This looks more volatile because there's a move. You can't quite make a nice. These bands don't work out as thick. So they're really jagged when you make lines. This might have worked, but if you look at this, it just never bands to anything. It just gets flat. And then the other thing that you want to look at is look at where your stop and your limit orders are. Look how tight they are. They're really tight. That's why you're not seeing a lot of action moving in. So, not that I couldn't trade with it. If this was the only thing I had to work with, I would trade with it. I would figure out a way to read this chart somehow. But right now it's like it's not a lot of movement. It's not a lot of up and down movement that I like. I mean, they react the same way. Let me see. This is also Bitsy, 15-minute chart. And if you look, also the bands are very narrow. So when you make these lines, they're often very jagged, very very sharp. Sharp. And this you could trade with it, but it's kind of nice to have a bigger band because it just seems to read a lot better. And then you get these like spikes like here. I've seen this often at Bitsy, and there's little sharp spikes that bring it down. And again, look at the spread on it. It's very tight. Your limit orders are very tight, and there's not much room. That's going, the movement's not there. Okay, because that small little space right there, that's where the market order hits a limit order, and so it's not going to get a lot of movement in price action. So That's kind of why it's doing this. But if, oddly enough, if you pull back to like let's just pull back to 6 hour, right? 6 hour, 6 hour. It looks pretty much the same. Even if you do this to the 6 hour, it may vary a little, but pretty much, you know, doesn't look that much different. Except towards the end, it really moved up here and then bounced back down instead of a smaller little move from the other ones. So let's go back to the Bitstamp here. There you go. So there is the difference here. As towards the end is this is a little bump and then that's down. Same thing on BitC. But this was this is the weird part. It bumped up and back down, and then now during this time the price difference, I guess the price parity, I guess I don't know what else to say, between the different indices, the arbitrage that people keep talking about between Mt. Gox and the other indices, that's when it really showed up the most. Now for some people this was a loss in value, and I can understand what they're talking about, because everybody's going off the lower indices, you're at a higher, so your value in US dollars after you convert it into Bitcoins was less. You know, you could really realize, like when you bought stuff, or when you want to deal with, I don't know, some people really price out. I price out when I trade both in the real world trades at Mt. Gox price. So some people pay for it, so whatever works. But there's a major difference. But if you look, it's back down, and I would assume it's going to probably go down just like the other indices have. But even then, the other indices, that was their spike up. The dip was there for some reason, but it came back to kind of like a median level. So did Mt. Gox, but in made an inverse reaction for some reason, or this upside reaction was I don't know, very bullish for some reason. So that's the only thing. But guess where it ended up? It ended up where it should have been anyway. And then the price gap between Bitstamp, BitC is shortened now a little bit. Used to be 180, now it's about 150. So it's shortened a little bit, but if you just pull back, it's the same. It just turned, this may be a little higher. It is trending slightly higher. But like I said, it's the movements on these. You know, that's what a trader, someone who trades on this platform through the exchange. That's what we look for. We look for those price action movements. So, anyways, I wanted to share that with you, and then let's take a look at it overall right here of what's going on. So a lot of things happening here. Let me pull back even further. Okay, well, maybe let's see a 12-hour. All right, so there's everything right there. So let's pull back in a little bit more to the 4-hour. Okay, so that's right now. It's just been ranging in here, and that's all it's been doing. And this is probably the new triangle right now. Is right here. This line and these two converging lines that I drew up. So it's got its support right here, and that's where it's been playing around with. So let's see if I move this out. Let's see where it's, how long it's gonna supposedly be here. Okay, so there it is. So let's have a look here. It's gonna be about today's 28. Let's see, okay, this is okay. I'm trying to figure out what this means. February. So 3 days. about 6 days. Sorry, it took me a while to figure out, but I'm trying to understand how this little number here works. This is the every 4 hour, and then these are a range of 3 days. So 3 days, about 6 days. So 6.5 days. It's probably going to be wiggling around in here, and before it meets the top resistance again, this time at a lower price, and maybe it will actually break. But again, it has to break higher than this. If it breaks higher, the great thing, if this breaks out of that downtrend, it will continue up, and as time goes on, it'll just keep going up and up and up, and this is where you get a really good breakout. So two scenarios here. If someone bought in here and you held because you're a breakout trader, you might have a chance to really make it out, because when it breaks out, it often does come back, but it's coming back at that great support line, and it's really close to the top resistance, so it has a chance of breaking out. So, but like I said, it has to finish way above this. It has to go like up to about 100 and 111, 1100. So it has to go about 1100. Other than that, if it breaks down, you got a lot of falling to do. I think 840 was the price. 840, about another $100 going down. So if it breaks down here, it's going to have to fall, and as time goes on, it's going to, and it's going to just, that line's just going to be going down with it. So there's two scenarios. So I guess, place your bets. Is it going to go up or down? This is where your chart analysis skills it comes in. But there's only two things that can happen, right? It either goes up or either goes down, or stays even for a very long time. So three things can happen. Either way, it works for me. Just to let you know, I did take a position right about at 940, 945. So it's 900 and let me see, 935. And so the reason I took that position was I did somewhere around here made a purchase of obviously higher than 945, somewhere probably at the peak of right here. I made a purchase of a gift card. So I took my existing bitcoins I had in this account, I sent it for the gift card, waited for the price to go down, and bought in at whatever, four something, right around here. So that was a way for me to get some of my purchasing power here, and then also recoup on some of the bitcoins that I expended, alright, that I use for, well, groceries. So anyways, so there's other ways you can trade this, okay? It's not always that you can trade US dollars for Bitcoin. You can actually take up purchasing, you can trade your purchasing power as well. So that's how useful Bitcoin is. The utility is so amazing. So again, the concept is you purchase something at a high price, and it doesn't matter what platform you're on, either Mt. Gox, Bitstamp, or Bitsy. The point is you're selling at a higher price, and then you're replacing that Bitcoin at a lower price, so it actually costs you less money. So you're recouping some of your money just by being in this trade, because you already paid out your credit, the Bitcoin, for a gift card or whatever. You go to Overstock, Tiger.com for electronic gadgets, whatever. So in that sense, this is more than money, okay? This can seriously affect your purchasing habits. So in this way you become a saver and a spender without ever having the risk of, I guess, losing value in Bitcoin, or in your money, or however you want to see Bitcoin as. So you're trying to recoup and gain value. Something you can't really do with, well, I guess you can do that with US dollars, because you're selling into US dollars. You're selling your Bitcoin for US dollars, and you don't have to exchange like electronic money for electronic money. And then you're allowing the price to go down, where you could take your electronic money and buy more Bitcoins. So there is a way to gain. And so in this scenario, trading Bitcoin makes sense for me. All right. So, anyways, that concludes this episode here. Hope this helps everyone. And like I said, feel free to comment, like, dislike, even a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.